Olá, boa noite. O Exou Biribó, hoje estreando o jogo novo no canal. Runaway 3, uma reviravolta do destino. Mas antes de apresentar o jogo, enfatizo que ontem, ao falar de filmes ensanduichados em trilogias, expressamente referi à maioria. A maioria é sem final, só servindo de ponto de passagem, como em O Senhor dos Anéis 2. Por sorte, há muitas exceções, como nas trilogias Máquina Mortífera e Mad Max, coincidentemente estreladas por Mel Gibson. Nas duas, o segundo filme é melhor, embora o primeiro já fosse excelente. Por mais sorte ainda, há casos como o de O Poderoso Chefão, em que será infinita discussão sobre o melhor dos três monumentais filmes da série. Agora sim, tratando do jogo. Runaway 3, uma reviravolta do destino, é game da pequena desenvolvedora espanhola Pêndulo, lançado pela Fox Home no final de 2009 em inglês e no início de 2010 em espanhol. Ou seja, 4 anos após o final, ou melhor, o não final de Runaway 2, quando muitos já pensavam que a saga não teria epílogo. A resenha, de que extraio alguns trechos, é de Alberto Pastor, no site 3D Juegos, em 25 de março de 2010. Diz ele: nossas expectativas eram altas, mas a Pêndulo conseguiu nos satisfazer além delas. E não é que a terceira parte da série Runaway, iniciada há quase uma década, conseguiu resolver os aspectos mais negativos de O Sonho da Tartaruga, apostando numa história mais adulta e envolvente, quebra-cabeças mais trabalhados e dentro da lógica, sempre um dos aspectos mais criticados da série, e, claro, diálogos e personagens memoráveis? Uma reviravolta do destino segue fiel aos princípios das aventuras clássicas dos anos 1990. Estamos novamente diante de um título baseado em apontar e clicar, em que, mais do que ação, vamos encontrar longas sessões de exploração dos cenários, intermináveis e hilariantes diálogos com dezenas de personagens, um mais bizarro do que o outro, e, claro, um grande estoque de objetos que teremos que combinar e usar para resolver puzzles. Para começar, convém notar que os quebra-cabeças foram bem desenhados, tanto por sua originalidade como pela solução lógica que apresentam, por mais difícil que seja encontrá-la. É verdade que ainda teremos algum que superaremos mais pela clássica tentativa e erro do que meditando, mas bem menos desta vez. Portanto, já é um grande avanço sobre o vivenciado no capítulo anterior. Os desafios seguem fiéis aos cânones do gênero. Poucas novidades encontraremos, como quebra-cabeças baseados em diálogos, cadeias de mensagens que precisamos lançar de forma ordenada para que certas personagens ajam como desejamos. Tampouco podemos esquecer a possibilidade de controlar outras personagens, não que resulte em grande diferença, já que a jogabilidade segue inalterada, mas para destacar a variedade de situações que a opção oferece e o frescor que a narrativa ganha com isso. Fragmentada em 6 episódios, a história pareceu muito interessante, tanto no nível do enredo quanto, acima de tudo, no da narrativa. A história começa com um grande salto no tempo sobre o ocorrido no Sonho da Tartaruga, final para o qual não se dá uma explicação imediata. Vamos vendo como as diferentes linhas de investigação começam a cruzar as protagonistas e umas às outras, de forma a reconstruir aos poucos os espaços vazios da história. Nós amamos isso, precisamente porque essa necessidade de querer saber mais, jogar um pouco mais, para descobrir o que houve, é que torna o jogo grande. Não gostamos tanto que algumas personagens tenham saído do elenco, embora as novas incorporações estejam à altura. E embora antes indicássemos que a história é mais madura e sombria do que a que se viu até hoje, isso não significa que não vamos topar com personagens bizarras que nos farão rir mais de uma vez, de seus olhares e seus peculiares jeitos de ser. Nesse sentido, os diálogos apresentados, como é tradicional nas aventuras gráficas, por meio de uma série de perguntas e respostas pré-fabricadas, são mais uma vez uma das principais atrações. Sim, ok, há momentos em que podem ser um pouco cansativos, mas, como regra, vamos gostar de tagarelar como nunca antes com cada ser vivo que cruzar nosso caminho. E avisamos que vamos encontrar de tudo. A série Runaway foi caracterizada, para melhor e para pior, por apresentar quebra-cabeças realmente complicados no nível de coerência. Na verdade, hoje perguntamos como a Pêndulo foi capaz de dar origem a quebra-cabeças assim. E por basear-se muitas vezes na chamada caça ao pixel, esconder no cenário objetos de vital importância, mas de proporções minúsculas. Esta sequência deixa situações assim de lado e até inclui uma opção de destacar todos os pontos de interesse em cada cenário. O inventário agora oferece visão 3D dos objetos. Os outros elementos da interface do usuário permanecem claros e intuitivos como sempre. No nível gráfico, embora à primeira vista possa não parecer, o jogo melhorou muito. Os cenários são mais variados e detalhados, destacando o magnífico desenho artístico. Da mesma forma, as personagens, embora suas animações às vezes pareçam um tanto robóticas. Também não podemos esquecer aquele toque de filme de ação e suspense que o jogo tem e que fica evidente em todas as sequências cinematográficas. No que respeita ao som, Digital Bros e Pêndulo Studios fizeram um trabalho magnífico na edição do jogo, com destaque para a fantástica dublagem, mas também para as melodias, que obtêm mais êxito que as de Sonho da Tartaruga. A avaliação final do site foi excelente, com nota 8,4. Agora digo eu. Comprei o game no GOG, mas apesar dos 4 idiomas disponíveis, só é possível a instalação com voz e legendas na mesma língua. De novo, não achei forma de alterar isso. E daí, mais uma vez, usarei vozes e legendas em inglês, prestigiando a maioria dos membros do canal. Opiniões sobre som, imagem e posição da câmera propiciarão os ajustes necessários. E como sempre diz o Brian, que jamais disse isso, depois copiado pelo Saturno, que jamais copiou isso, sorte para todos e para mim também. Novo jogador. Vou ver alguém parecido comigo aqui, né? Alguém que tenha cavanhaque, óculos. Cavanhaque tem esse aqui, mas não tem óculos. Esse aqui, cavanhaque, óculos e cabelo bonito. Esse devo ser eu. Uezou, biribó, biribó, biribó.
Hi, Gina Timmons. Who's calling?
I'm calling you from the Happy Dale Mental Hospital.
What's the matter?
We need you to come in right away. I have the unfortunate duty of informing you that a terrible accident took place.
Et comedisti deligno, et quo praecere eram tibi, ne comederes maledicta terra, in opere tuo in laboribus comedes eam cunctis diebus via tua.
And we will prove that last April 30th on Mile Island, Colonel Kortzmeyer was murdered by Brian Basco in cold blood. The defense will attempt to confuse you with trickery and lies.
Los germinavi tibi in comedes herbas terrae, in sudore vultus tui vesceris panedon revertai, in terram de quo assumptus escuia pulvis, es et in pulverem revertai.
Order!
Quo habitavam.
For the last time, Mr. Basco, tell us what you remember.
I don't remember anything.
Oh, yes. Amnesia. If you think you'll get off by pretending to be insane, then you've really lost your mind.
I want order!
Ava eo quod mater essent, cunctorum viventim. Feci quo quereminus Deus Adam et uxorieis tunicas fecitias et induiteos. Et aite que Adam factus es quasi unus et noviciens.
And given the doubts created by the defendant's mental health, he will be admitted into Happy Dale Psychiatric Hospital, where Dr. Bennett will determine whether his supposed insanity has any basis in reality. I'm postponing this trial until then.
No! I'm not crazy!
Gina!
Capítulo 1, Brian Basco está morto.
Brian?
It's me.
What's your game? You call me telling me I have to identify a headless body to say it's yours, and then you've vanished for 2 days?
Get me out of here.
I went to your bogus burial and... All right. Where are you?
Barry, in my grave.
That can't be. How am I gonna get you out of there? This is insane. Get me out of this tomb, say nothing to anyone. Be careful, murderers waiting at exit. Battery low, come quick, banana. Banana? I don't know what went down in Hawaii, or what they did to you in that psychiatric ward. I don't know why you escaped, or why you faked your own death. I don't know how you got down there. I don't even know whether you're the Brian I know. All I want is for everything to go back to normal. That's all right, though. I won't ask for help, I won't call the cops, and I won't leave the cemetery. But I will get you out of there. You win, Brian. We'll play it your way. Brian, I swear if you come out of this alive, you're gonna have a lot of explaining to do. No, if someone saw me, they might suspect something. It came with a really cute purple ribbon, too. I don't know. Carrying that around would be a chore. But the ribbon alone... It'll be a great souvenir from Brian's phony funeral. Graves, graves, and more graves. Huh, I hope I don't have to find anything among them. It would take me everlasting eternity. A ladder here? Huh?
Hello, dear.
Hello?
Up here, on the roof.
Do I know you?
Well, of course not, dear. I'm Agatha Saffron von Rubenstein, PhD in parapsychology and poltergeistian phenomena from the University of Virginia, member of the North American Parapsychological Association, and also I'm a medium. 'Cause I like it.
Nice to meet you. I'm Gina Timmons.
It's amazing, my dear, how much pain is in your aura. Come inside. I'll help you stop your suffering. Hurry, I'll be right down.
Well, this is an interesting start. Atlas Under the Weight of the World, donated by Angelos Louisopoulos. Brian told me that this guy holds up the heavens, or something like that, according to the ancient Greeks, I believe. The ends are attached using a small hook. I don't know if I can, but I'll try. Ah, yikes! The strap is on so tight that there's no way to get it off.
Por que ela quer essa correia também?
It's connected to the cable that comes down from the roof. What a bizarre contraption. I better not touch it, just in case. Edward M. Blake. Sounds familiar, but not sure why. Surely Agatha put it there to climb onto the roof. What if I decide I need to scamper up to the roof at some point? It's staying there. Very quaint, but I think it could use a modern update. In these heels? Ha! Gina, don't even try. You don't have enough money for foot surgery. Agatha?
Hello, dear. Let's start from the very beginning. How long is it you've been dead now?
What? No, I'm alive. As far as I know.
Oh, well, isn't that a shame? You really could have helped me out here.
Well, sorry. Helped you what?
To find out whether the spirits in this cemetery are on my side or not. Reverend McCormick asked me to find out why the poltergeists infesting this graveyard are here. But first, I must know if they're on my side or not.
Is something weird going on in the cemetery?
Weird? Not at all. Well, the only strange thing is it seems like a UN summit with such an international set of spirits. Besides that, just the usual. Miscellaneous poltergeists and a hideous past tormenting the primordial energy here, which, by the way, is centered precisely inside this crypt.
Why do you say the cemetery seems like the UN?
Because there are spirits from many different countries. China, France, Germany, Spain, Brazil, Sweden, Egypt, Australia. And a few from right here, like you.
Agatha, I am not a ghost. I'm not even dead.
You're not? Well, have it your way.
What's so hideous about the past of this crypt?
A horrific, shameful, and hideous crime. During the Civil War, before this graveyard was here, this used to be a Yankee prison.
Wow, how interesting. Go on.
On the night of April 24th, 1864, a captain of the Confederacy, Noah Kilgore, was waiting to be executed. He had come to terms with death, but during a change of guards, his luck changed too. The lieutenant in charge of watching him was Philemon Kilgore, his own brother.
Two brothers fighting on opposite sides?
Civil war is always fratricidal, dear. Brother against brother. That's what it consists of. But anyway, Noah pleaded with his brother to let him go, and though Philemon didn't want to betray his army, his brotherly love won out, and he let his brother escape.
What's so horrific and shameful about that? Sounds like a nice story to me. Almost corny.
Don't jump the gun, dear. As soon as Philemon set him free, Noah whacked his brother over the head and left him unconscious. He exchanged clothes with Philemon and stuck him in the cell.
Of course. The brothers bore such a resemblance that nobody noticed the difference, right?
Yes, but Noah didn't want his brother to give up the big secret, so he set fire to his brother's cell. End of story.
The end? That awful murderer didn't get punished?
Well, eventually he died, of course. Several years later, after becoming a hero for the Yankees.
A war hero? That's not fair.
Wait, dear. After he burned Philemon alive, a voice tormented Noah in his dreams. It said, "Come to me, brother. As I burn, so shall you."
And?
And one day, driven mad by Philemon's voice, Noah returned to this place, and sure as sin, he was burned alive.
Huh? And what was the purpose of telling me this saga?
Noah and Philemon's tormented souls are the most powerful in this graveyard. They make up its primordial energy core, and I need their consent before contacting any other spirits.
So what do these poltergeists, which Reverend McCormick is so scared of, do?
Oh, lots of mischief. You know how these spirits can be. They drag chains, howl, lift their skirts when nuns come by, suddenly appear before visitors. They're such rascals.
Okay, this is getting pretty gross. Let's talk about something else. Tell me about that cable you slid down.
My parabiothermal cable? Well, it detects sudden changes in temperature caused by paranormal phenomena.
Ah, like in the movies, when a ghost is going to appear and everything starts to look cold?
More or less. But in movies, they never quite get these things right. The more subdued spirits, like the ones in this crypt, display their temper using temperatures. If they are displeased by a presence, they emit heat. But if they are happy, they give off cold.
How does that cable work?
Very well, dear. Its filaments are temperature sensitive. If there is a variation of more than 20 degrees Celsius in less than 5 seconds, they send a signal to the ectothermal scanning machine outside the crypt. By analyzing its readings, I am able to determine the temperament or mood of the spirit that caused the thermal change. Pretty simple, isn't it?
So why did you put it right here?
Because I need to know whether the spirits in the crypt who are in charge around here are happy with my presence. If they emit cold temperatures, I can make contact with any spirit in this cemetery. But if they give off heat, then I'd better clear out. And Reverend McCormick will just have to find another medium.
Fascinating, Agatha, but let me ask you something else. See you later, Agatha.
Whenever you want, dear.
There's a bit of everything. A backpack, tape recorder, a Ouija board, a dried out lemon, a flashlight. I bet that flashlight could be useful. But Brian always says that when you find things like this, the batteries are always dead. Agatha, does that flashlight work?
I just changed the batteries yesterday. Take it if you like.
Well, that proves Brian's first law wrong.
Já não serve mais essa teoria.
It's attached to the machine Agatha has running outside the crypt. Wow, that is huge. It's hung in the air thanks to a set of sturdy steel cables. It's attached to the machine Agatha has running outside the crypt. It's very thick because that angel is truly obese. That won't work. Good thinking. I could also record it on video and upload it to YouTube as long as I'm horsing around. That way someone will get a laugh out of my crash landing. Yikes! What a welcoming place. Huh? A tunnel. Wait a sec. If I've got this right, then behind that wall is the hole they buried Brian in. Not that that improves things much, but at least now I know I have two options. Either move the slab of stone off the grave and start digging, at the risk that somebody might see me, or break through this wall. Doesn't look easy. But at least I'm not out in the wide open with nosy people walking by. Let's see what this says. Captain Noah W. Kilgore, 1823 to 1864. A Confederate soldier buried in New York. That's weird. Yes, that's the thing to do. Darn. Someone could have put a hole, tunnel, lever, or something else that might make it easier for me to reach Brian. I have no other choice but to remove one of these blocks of stone. But which? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I think it'll be best to choose that one in the middle with the ring. It'll be easier to remove than the ones on the side. I have to get it out no matter what. Brian is depending on me. It's made of metal. That looks pretty hard, besides the fact that I don't need it. I'll need something more than my own strength to move that. I bet the ashes of the guy in the painting are inside. It gives me the creeps, but Brian is behind that wall. So if I don't take the urn, I might end up spilling its contents. Although, it would be worse if they poured out into my pocket. Didn't something like that traumatize a character on 6 Feet Under for years? According to Agatha, it detects sudden temperature changes, both hot and cold. He seems like a real VIP. Lieutenant Philemon J. Kilgore, 1823 to 1864. After Agatha's long-winded explanation with all those plot twists and unexpected deaths, I can't remember if this was the good brother or the bad one. Damn, he's a big boy. I bet he's heavy.
Tem uma área circular aqui.
I've been here before when the hearse brought Brian in. Father, I'm trimming the hedges. If you need me to put the coffins together, ring the bell. Signed by someone named Luann. It's fairly dark in there, but I think it might be a maintenance room. Okie dokie. Guess not, it's locked. Rolls Royce. And they say dying is the worst thing that can happen to you. I think that's the same one they used to bring Brian's coffin from the psychiatric hospital. Let's see if it's open. A flat spare tire. What a driver. Nice calendar he's got here. An old blanket. Oh, and one of those straps they use to lower coffins into the grave. I'll just borrow that. Hey, this thing's keys are in the ignition. Something tells me it won't work. Okay, it works, but enough is enough. Someone might show up. If things start to get ugly when I get Brian out, at least we have a way to escape now. A constant flow of water is trickling out. That can't be good considering the drought. I wouldn't be able to keep much in my hands. Yuck, no. The ashes would turn into a putrid mud.
Numa das resenhas que eu li, diz que é engraçado o sistema de dicas aqui.
Man, it's darker in here than when we came for Brian's pseudo-funeral. I guess Reverend McCormick turned out all the lights when he left.
E que vale a pena entrar mesmo que a gente não esteja em dúvida. Depois eu vou clicar ali.
The light coming in is lovely. They lead to the main part of the chapel. Where I am now is a sort of entrance foyer. Logically, they're closed. What do you mean, mailbox? That's the place to leave alms for the poor if you've got some spare change. It's got a pretty sturdy lock, but I bet with a fishing pole and a magnet, you could swipe the full contents. Wait, what are you saying, Gina? I'm no thief. Or at least, I don't want to go back to being one. I can't see it too well from here, but yes, I think it might be a box. There's something behind this grating. If only I could get it open. That's the homeliest doormat I've ever seen. It doesn't even have a sad little plastic flower or a welcome message.
Como todo mundo guarda a chave embaixo do capacho ou embaixo do vaso da entrada.
Yeah, looks like there's something underneath. A trap door.
Não, tem uma passagem secreta aqui.
What could be behind there? They better not keep their dog in there. Ah. Seems like it's made of plastic.
Uma luva plástica.
That might be useful. Considering where I found it, it seems pretty clean.
E subindo aqui eu posso pegar a caixa.
Let's see what happens if I climb on this.
Posso.
Why, yes! It was a wooden box. Think there's something inside? Hey, a key. I wonder what it's for.
Experimentar.
You never know. Well, in this case, the answer is no, I guess. Hey, I am not that evil of a person. If I had no choice but to rob, then I'd do it from a millionaire. And if that millionaire is a mafia boss, then all the better. Let's see if it fits this lock. That's the thing they use to rake in the dough from worshippers during Mass. Okay, once I rescue Brian, I'll bring it back here. Someone told me that in the olden days, these baskets didn't have such long handles, but they added them when it was discovered rich people always sit as far away from the aisle as possible. Large families have more fun. Yeah, especially poor old mom and dad who work tirelessly without a wink of sleep so they can feed their huge litter of offspring. I can stare at it all I want, but I can't make out a single letter. Tombs for Everyone. Charity benefit in favor of dignified housing. If you wish to take part in the campaign, please contact Reverend McCormick during office hours. Okay, let's see what it's about. Yikes. Could it be any spookier? It's a list of names with the dates and places of birth and death and the location of the person's grave.
Uma corda.
I'm positive it's used to ring the bell on the roof.
Ah, para chamar Luane.
Don't you worry your holy old self for nothing.
Hurry up, little mama.
Well, looks like I managed to get that janitor girl to come. I hope Reverend McCormick doesn't show up at some point and ruin my plan.
Ah, e agora eu tenho uma luva aqui se eu quiser encher de água. Tem?
Yes, I can turn it into a water bottle. If it doesn't have any holes in it, that is. Looks like a cartoon character glove.
E se eu esvaziar a urna na caixa vazia, eu fico com a urna para encher de água também.
I don't know if they'll fit, but ready. Okay, Gina, you spilled more outside the box than you poured in. But I don't think the party concern will notice. You haven't been sleeping well, you're exhausted and nervous, and do you know how hard it is to pour ashes without expert help?
Não sei porque que ela vai querer tanta água assim também. Vai pro deserto?
Yes. The water won't come out of this.
É, ela quer mesmo.
Well, there are still some ashes stuck to the bottom, but oh well. Hello?
Wait. You're the gal from that crazy guy's funeral. Is that where I saw you before?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, but don't come crying to Luann. I'm busier than a bee in a beehive. Gotta run. See ya.
Wow, you are so insensitive.
Oh, all right, sorry. My sincerest condolences and all that. Thing about this job is that you just get sick of all them weepy widows always crying at you. Anything else?
What's got you so busy, Luann?
Well, this here, can't you see? I've got to get these coffins together before the Tombs for Everyone charity benefit. But the instruction manual's in gibberish and I can't understand a word. But if anyone can get this done, I can.
I've never heard of do-it-yourself coffins before.
Me neither. But the old Reverend bought these unassembled on the internet and I've just got to deal with it. They're cheaper than pig's milk, but they're good enough for your final rest.
Well, I could think of a case or two in which that might just come in handy. What exactly does Tombs for Everyone consist of?
Well, it's this thing where if you're poor and you kick the bucket, everything's on the house. We pay for the coffin, the hole, the wreath, the stone slab. As the old Reverend says, we won't die for you, but almost.
What's up with the manual?
Well, it's in Swedish, and not even a schoolmaster can understand it. It's like Chinese, but worse, because you can find a Chinaman anywhere, but who in tarnation knows where to find a Swede?
Would you let me see the assembly manual? I don't know, maybe I could help.
Besides being a rich city slicker, you figure you're some sort of engineer, huh? Well, take it.
Doesn't look easy, but we'll have to try.
You thought I'd just have one manual and wouldn't let you borrow it, huh? Well, Luann's accepting help today, so if you can understand any of that gibberish...
Why are you in such a hurry?
'Cause I met this manly stud and he's waiting for me to get off work. His name's Ernie, and he is the finest gentleman I've ever come across.
I think I know that Ernie guy.
If you try to steal my man, I'll slap you silly. Ernie's mine, you got that? Man, for once I reel in a hot catch and a city broad tries to steal him away from me.
So he's waiting for you? Are you guys going on a date somewhere?
He's taking me bowling. Ain't as serious as going to the Sunday ball, but since they don't have them around here...
You like the guy that much?
Better than a new hoe. Man, I'm even thinking of giving up my sacred chrysanthemum to him.
Oh my, how did you meet?
I was hacking away at the hedges. He came over and said some pretty things like that any sane man would fall in love with me. That he couldn't avoid falling for little old me, for me not to stop loving him and stuff like that, about love and the like.
Let's stop gossiping about Ernie.
You stop gossiping. I got dibs on him and he's mine.
A placa mortuária aqui embaixo da bancada é do McCartney, morto em 1966. Quando disseram que a capa do Sgt. Pepper era uma homenagem ao falecido Paul McCartney.
What's behind that big door?
My tools. But get close to them and I'll punch your lights out. They're mine, got that? Dang, it's getting colder and colder in here.
Just out of curiosity, what kind of tools do you have?
Man, I got more than the little furry balls on an old sweater. They're mostly garden tools, but I also got the circular saw and the hole-making thing, and the one that puts staples, and the circular saw, and...
You already said that.
What, the circular saw? That's 'cause I like it more than the field without cow pies. It cuts through metal things like a hot knife through butter.
Era boato de que Paul McCartney tinha morrido naquela época e que no final do disco, depois da última música, ficava falando uma coisa que se você tocasse de trás para frente, diria: Paul está morto, Paul está morto, Paul está morto.
What if I asked you for one tool and promised to return it right away?
What if I smacked you once, but then smacked you again 2 seconds later?
Okay, already, forget it. Talk to you later. I don't want to make you late.
So what do you think you've been doing up to now? This city slicker's not too swift.
According to Luann, what's behind the door is a circular saw which she is in love with. As long as Luann is here, I'd better not. How weird. It's on, but it's empty.
Well, of course. Who would be such a numbskull as to put something in there?
Why's that?
Because it's always on the fritz, and no sooner do you stick something in it than it goes pow, and it deep freezes everything to the core, so careful. Man, I don't know why I'm even warning her.
E se eu puser a luva com água?
Okay, why the heck not?
Ela também vai fazendo as coisas como eu, sem saber.
Let's see how long it takes to freeze.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Pow! It's already frozen. Shoot!
No, I need something to help me keep it frozen once I've taken it out.
Tem que pôr numa outra coisa. Pôr na urna com água.
That's it. I can use the urn as a thermos so that the ice doesn't melt or freeze my pocket. Oh, I'd forgotten I put the water in the urn before. But hey, this plant over here looks like it's dying of thirst. Luann was right. It's frozen solid.
Ela jogou fora a água que eu catei. Mas era para usar na urna mesmo. E agora a Bá falou, não tinha entendido direito lá.
Handle.
Quando a mulher falou em inglês. Para mostrar que os fantasmas estão felizes, ela tem que ver o frio lá no cabo pio termostático.
It's not very powerful, but since the weather's pretty nice today, who cares? You may not believe me, but this is the first time I've seen one of these for real, and not in a cartoon falling on someone's head. That thing? I couldn't move it if I worked out for a year. Hammer, pliers, file, scissors, a bit of everything. I could take them all, but this thin one here seems most familiar to me.
Mais nada?
If the hammer were just a bit bigger, but in that size, it's useless. Brian's text message said not to leave the cemetery, but I don't see what's wrong with approaching the front gate. Ernie? You're still here?
Gina Basco. How's it going, kid?
Great, fine. I mean, actually terrible. I'm distraught. Thanks for attending the funeral.
Oh, well, I was Basco's favorite orderly, and he was my favorite nut job. How could I miss his funeral? What's more, Happydale didn't send anyone to it. But of course, with everything that's going on down there, that place is like crazy. Hey, Gina, I got a joke for you. You ain't nothing but a mad dog.
Essa é a maior prova de que Elvis, apesar de estar no cemitério, não morreu. Boa essa.
Well, well, you sure kept the thing about Luann all to yourself.
How'd you find out?
Ernie, it's easier to catch a man red-handed than a child. Want to know something else? I'd love to know how you met.
Well, it wasn't the best time, but I noticed her during the funeral. Then, when she started trimming some hedges, I went over and showed her my Harley, and we ended up making a date for the bowling alley.
You just drive her crazy. She wants to jump your bones.
And Ernie here wants to jump hers, babe. Don't get me wrong, you're a hottie too, but she is blonde, of course.
You make a great couple.
She is a hunk of love. I can't remember the last time I fell for such a sizzling number. Why, it's been hours.
Don't worry, she'll be out soon.
I hope so, because I really want to hit them pins. Don't get the wrong idea, though. I never make out with a girl on the first date. Except when I want to.
I bet you could spend all day talking about her, but I can't.
Babe, if you were into Luann as much as Ernie is, well, we'd have us a problem. Or on second thought, things could get interesting.
There's something I need to tell you about Brian.
Shoot, babe. I'm all ears.
Did you notice anything strange about him in his final days?
You know what, babe? I think Brian knew he had something coming. He was nervous-like. Couldn't stop pacing around, talking to one guy, then another. It's as if he had a sixth sense, telling him, get a move on, kid. Things are almost over with here. Wait, I almost forgot. Brian's the one with the bag. Looks good on him, huh?
Clearly he adapted to his new environment pretty well.
Yeah, well, We took this picture the day before Brian, just keep it. It's all yours.
How original. I didn't know people gave gifts at funerals, but thanks.
Nothing's too good for my favorite brunette, darling. If I hadn't fallen in love with Luann today, I'd have done even more.
Did you hear him talk about some place he would have liked to visit?
Not that I can remember now, no.
What do you know about Brian's attempted escape?
Nothing. Just what people were saying. That he tried to escape through the air ducts and that his head got chopped off by a big fan. Poor nutjob.
Who else could tell me more about Brian's final days?
The guys who knew Brian best at Happydale were Dr. Bennett, who's now missing, and his fellow escapees, Jacob Kurgan and Gabbo Spiegelman. You're going to have a hard time, babe.
One other thing.
Será que vai contar pra ele?
What did you really think about Brian?
Well, Ernie already told you. Brian was his favorite nut job. What do you mean?
Do you think Brian murdered Kordsmeyer?
Kordsmeyer was that military brass, right? Hey, I don't know, babe. Maybe he did and maybe he didn't. You never know with these nut jobs.
Do you really think Brian was insane?
Obviously, babe. Crazier than a cuckoo.
By the way, I guess nobody doubts Brian is dead. Like, totally dead, right?
Well, maybe I shouldn't tell you this, but there's rumors that when they found him, he was a bit... how should I put it?
Headless? I know, Ernie. I'm the one who identified his body.
Oh, babe, that's horrible. Then why are you asking this stuff? Who'd know better than you?
Brian is alive.
Babe, Brian will always be alive in our memories. But you need to turn the page and live your own life. Once I get over this Luann thing, I'll call you up and help you.
Maybe I just need to get used to not talking about Brian all day long.
It's normal, babe. He's always on your mind.
Ele vai declamando trechos das músicas do Elvis.
Why did you say the psychiatric hospital is like crazy?
Haven't you heard, hon? Just 2 days ago, right when Brian keeled over, 2 inmates escaped, and Dr. Bennett disappeared. An office ceiling collapsed, and a nurse who just got hired decided to quit. And she was some major eye candy, that little lady. Ooh.
Could you tell me about everything that's happened lately at Happydale?
Why, sure. 2 inmates escaped, and Dr. Bennett disappeared. An office ceiling collapsed, and a nurse who just got hired decided to quit.
Bennett disappeared? The same Dr. Bennett that was treating Brian?
The very same. I don't know if he'd finished his report for the judge, determining whether Brian was crazy or not. But who cares at this point?
Agora acho que ela já tá pensando que o morto era o Dr. Bennett. Que o Brian matou pra enganar que era ele.
Which 2 inmates escaped?
That'll be Jacob Kurgan and Gabbo Spiegelman. From what I've heard, all 3 tried to skip the nut house together, but Brian got the worst part.
Don't you think it's weird that so many unusual things happened in such a short time?
Nope. It's like that movie. Unfortunate events always seem to happen in a series.
Getting back to our last topic. Don't call me Basco. My last name is Timmons.
So, you're ashamed of Basco. Of Brian. Wow. And he never stopped talking about how much he loved you and what a hottie you were. And he wasn't hallucinating either.
Brian and I aren't married. I'm not really sure what you'd call our relationship.
Well then, you're not a widow, and he's nothing more than a deceased friend.
I'd hate to have to give up my father's last name. I've already abused it so much as it is.
Well then, were you using your own name in that place where you used to dance? I thought you would have made up some kind of stage name, like Bubbles or Candy Cane.
How do you know about that? Damn Brian! He's gonna hear from me. He's gonna learn to keep his big fat mouth shut.
I don't mean to take sides, but I think Brian's already learned a thing or two about keeping quiet.
I'm not ashamed of Brian. No matter how nerdy he can be, he's the kindest man I've ever met.
Well, considering the string of gems you've come across in the past, I mean, Brian told me all your exes were, you know, not very recommendable bachelors.
Just drop it. My last name is none of your business.
Okay, babe.
See you later, Ernie.
Later, babe.
The little plaque says, "Please keep the cemetery clean. Remember, someday it may be your home." That's not a very nice thing to say. I refuse to stick my hands in there. I wouldn't even do it with a rubber glove. Nobody's been working all afternoon long. No wonder this country's infrastructure is going down the tubes. Yeah, these things can rust really fast. Let's see. The shovel. No, kind of creepy in a cemetery. And those metal thingies? No. Cement. What's that? Oh, I know. I'll take one of these adjustable tubular items you can use to prop things up. That might be useful.
Dá uma frustração quando tem tanta coisa assim. E não pega quase nada. Voltar para a cripta. Agora que eu tenho um macaco, uma lima metálica, um manual em sueco.
These are the most luxurious digs in this bone pile.
Uma luva com água congelada.
They were great to wear during the funeral. It's not easy to keep up appearances at the burial of someone you know is alive. I parked my car at the entrance to the cemetery, but if Brian's message is right, I'd better not leave. Brian's last text message said, "Get me out of this grave, say nothing to anyone. Be careful, killer's waiting for you at exit, battery low, come quick, banana."
Banana. O que essa banana fala?
I decided to purchase a simple model without a condolence message. It's spooky enough anyway. Agatha was a real sweetheart to lend it to me. I'm using it as a thermos for a latex glove filled with ice. Just a wild and crazy idea I came up with. It was inside of a hearse.
Ah, o macaco pode segurar aquele globo de pedra para pegar a outra correia lá do Atlas.
The ashes inside belong to the late Noah Kilgore, or his brother Philemon. It's hard to say.
Ah, é, o corretor do iPhone pode ter escrito banana e não era nada.
It opens the grating near the entrance to the chapel. The handle is quite long. Who could understand this? It's all in Swedish. Luann let me borrow it. She doesn't know that, but she did. I love discovering that while I was busting my butt to get him free, he was having a great time horsing around. Typical. It's nice that you can adjust it. Hi again, Agatha.
Hello, dear.
Have you found any conclusive results up to now?
I shouldn't be telling you this, but a while ago, I detected a phantasmagorical voice which said, Get me out of here. Banana! And the worst thing is he said your name after that, dear. Gina! When he finds out you're dead, he'll roll over in his grave.
But I'm alive.
Are you sure, you poor thing?
Então o Brian tá gritando de lá. E até a Agatha escutou. E é banana mesmo, então se ela escutou também.
Could you translate this manual for me? It's in Swedish.
Is Swedish a dead language?
I don't think so.
Then I can't help you, dear. Though, if you find the grave of a Swede here in the graveyard, I can ask him or her to translate it for you. But wait. First, let me think. First, I should make certain that the primordial energy in the graveyard is benign. In other words, I have to wait for the spirits infesting this crypt to express their presence by giving off the usual phantom chill.
See you later, Agatha.
Whenever you want, dear.
That sounds good. The end of the cable has no plastic coating, so it'll be much more sensitive to the cold than the rest. So let's see.
A thermal manifestation. Oh, my spirits. What lovely creatures.
Hey, it worked. I feel bad about tricking Agatha, but I guess I've done worse things in my time. And with a lot less payoff than now. What about Agatha? Oh, there she is. Hey, Agatha, what are you doing here?
Congratulate me, dear. They gave me permission.
Congratulations. Who gave you permission and what for?
Didn't you hear the ectothermal machine beeping? The spirits of the Kilgore brothers, the primordial energy force in this graveyard, have authorized me to proceed with my research on their turf.
Oh, wow, how cool.
So you need not fear anything any longer, dear. Just answer me honestly. Why is your tormented spirit still wandering through this world?
Because I'm not dead yet?
Come on, are you sure?
I'd bet my life on it. But there are other things I'm not so sure about.
Oh, you have questions? Tell me. I'm your medium.
Heard any more voices from beyond the grave?
What are you talking about, dear? Oh, no. Ever since I left that crypt, not a peep, not a wailing sob, not a boo, not a thing.
What are you doing out here?
Nothing, dear. I'm verifying the tests performed by the ectothermal scanning machine to check the sudden parabiothermal coldness detected in the Kilgore crypt.
What did you need to translate the manual into Swedish?
If you find the grave of a Swede here in the graveyard, I can ask him or her to translate it for you.
See you around, Agatha.
Goodbye, dear.
Colocar o manual sueco no livro.
Huh? If a person is in this directory, that means they're dead, doesn't it? However...
Que absurdo. E ainda dizem que esse é mais lógico.
Ingerman Holgren, born in Norrköping, Sweden, and his grave is in Sector D, Path 2, Aisle... Here it is! But the truth is, I don't know why I'm so incredibly happy. I mean, I just found a dead guy, and considering where I am, that's not exactly an amazing feat. What's up, Agatha?
Nothing much, dear.
Now that the spirits in charge around here are your friends, think you could help me with that Swedish manual?
Oh, dear. It completely slipped my mind. Now, where was that poor man?
Ingerman Holgren. Here he is.
Now, my dear, you just wait for me over there.
But...
I need some peace now, to get my capacity for understanding to rise to the world of the spirits. Ingerman! I invoke you. Ingerman! Come and show yourself! Oh. Monterinstructione. Let's see what this book says. Instructions for the assembly.
Agatha, what you just did is absolutely amazing.
Oh, my dear. You've no idea.
Really, thanks to you, I have just what I needed. The fully translated Flichting Coffin Assembly Manual.
Luan. Vamos ver o que é que diz a dica lá. Joshua!
Pendula Studios, Department of Puzzlistic Problematics and Player Assistance. Closed for vacation. Why, hello there. I'm Mr. Pendulo. Stuck? Oh, that's terrible. This little game boggles the mind, doesn't it? So where's the problem exactly? Well, let's take a look. What you gotta imagine is this. That thick piece of rock is Freddy Krueger on his manicure day. Check it out.
Man, it's cold.
What would you say if I told you that I had translated the Coffin Assembly Manual?
Shoot! That if you're lying, I'll smack you upside the head. Oh, my sweet lordy. Wow. Yes, this'll be a cinch. Now, in 5 minutes, I can do this body box. Then I'll get gussied up and it's off to the bowling alley with Ernie. So, will you show the coffin to the Reverend and close up the workshop for me?
Okay, fine. You run along. Don't worry.
So, it turns out you're a real nice person after all. Move out, Ernie.
I'll be seeing you later, hot duck.
At last, I'm alone. Finally. There's Luann's famous circular saw. It's heavy, but I'm sure I will be needing it.
Macaco.
Good idea. And when the strap gets a little bit less tight, I'll finally be able to take it off. Looky there, now I have two.
Uma das cintas vai no gancho, né? Aliás, primeiro ela tem que tirar a argamassa ali.
File the block? Of course. I can file away the mortar between the other blocks, and then it'll be easier to move. File that mortar down, let's get to it.
Hey, oi.
Wasabi. No, the broad's still inside, and I'm starting to get knackered. We're on it. Yo, Fatzilla, bad news, dude. Seems we can't go in. We have to wait for her here, then follow her. You have such a way with words.
Well, that wasn't easy, but I managed to file all of the mortar away.
Então eu sou o Wasabi. Wasabi-ribo, wasabi-ribo, wasabi-ribo.
Without the mortar between the bricks, it'll be easier to move. if I can figure out how. This is starting to feel like an immunity challenge on Survivor Transylvania. Okay, so I got rid of the mortar, but I wonder if I can drag away the stone with the strap. Ready.
A outra no anjo, no cabo do anjo, e depois faz o anjo despencar para forçar isso aqui. Que destruição! Ela vai ser pior do que o Brian.
That sounds good, but from down here, how? Wouldn't it be simpler from somewhere else?
Ela gostou da ideia, mas é difícil pôr aqui. A gente deve pôr aqui por cima, é isso?
Good idea.
É isso mesmo.
Though besides that, I think I've come up with another one of my brilliant ideas.
Ah, ela tá fazendo o que eu tinha pensado em fazer, não vale. Quando eu tenho a ideia certa.
I know it seems a bit strange, but, well, it might work.
Agora a máquina de serra da Luan.
It's too far. I can't reach it.
Dá para fazer uma extensão aqui?
Yeah, it's such a silly idea that it might even work. But I don't know what I could attach them together with. What am I saying? What about the ribbon from the funeral wreath? Come on, let's get down to work. That turned out even better than I expected. Let's see how well it holds. Oh my god, what a mess I've made. Yes, the stone moved. Although, when Reverend McCormick comes back, I know one parapsychologist who's gonna have a lot of explaining to do. Poor old woman. Oh well.
Ah, não.
They're the same kind of bricks lining Brian's grave. That pole must have fallen off after what happened with the angel. I'll put it back in place so I don't trip. I'd rather keep it.
Ela pegou automaticamente também, nem esperou ter a ideia.
Great idea. Bring it on, Gina. Brian, if you can hear me, stay away from the wall. Hi-ya! Brian? Brian?
What, you don't know where he is?
Who are you?
The guy who sent you the text message. Banana!
Wait a minute. You're Gabbo, Brian's friend from the psychiatric hospital. What are you doing in here?
Sleeping. I didn't intend to stay in the box. I got in before the burial. I was gonna try to meet you afterwards. To find out where Basco is, but it turns out you don't know either. Improvise, Spiegelman!
Did you fall asleep inside the grave?
Narcolepsy. Let's go.
Where to?
Out. To find the only guy who can help Basco.
Weren't there some thugs by the exit?
I'll kill one guy, you take the other. How's that?
Are you nuts?
Okay. Let's try to Steve McQueen. I'll need a couple of cars.
Ah, there she is, the little cow. That wait was so boring, man. What the...
Banana!
Hurry up, get in!
Okay, she got away. No, we'll find her. The little slapper's dead, I swear.
E Eu Sou Bandido, capítulo 2. A arte de fugir de novo? De escapar?
You can go to sleep. If you make a wrong turn, I'll tell you. Turn off there! There!
Is this where that friend of yours is going to save Brian is?
No, we won't get there till dawn. My stomach has feelings too, you know.
Tell me about Brian.
About Basco? How do I know? Took him a long time to get used to Happy Dale. At first he was horrified. But, you know, not everybody's cut out for living in the nut house. It's like this. The worst part is that swine Kurgan made life real hard on him. He does that with all the rookies. But Basco stood up to him. I liked the guy. I said, we're like kindred spirits. Banana! And he was. No one can steal keys or trick an orderly or fool a nurse like he can. And at night, even though he was hard to convince, that kid had a natural-born talent for poker. And he hardly even paid attention. He'd spend the whole day thinking about his next hypnotherapy session with Dr. Bennett. I'm innocent and I'm sane, he'd always say. Soon I'll be free and get back to Gina again. 2 days ago, yeah, it was Monday. On Monday, he went totally berserk from the therapy.
Bennett wants to throw me in jail. I've got to escape.
We'll miss you.
Gabbo, you've escaped hundreds of times. You've got to help me out of here.
Pipe down, Basco, let me think. What you need is a Clint Eastwood.
Huh?
It's an escape designed for beginners. Not very artistic, but effective.
I'm not going back to jail. Tell me what needs to be done and I'll do it.
Listen up. You go into the casino and climb through the vent for the air conditioning ducts. Right behind the cover, you'll find a map. Use it to get to the central fan. A huge tube comes out of there. Climb up one of the numbered ladders. Doesn't matter which one, but don't even think of going up number 2. Slip between the bars, and you'll reach the tower at the top of the roof. You'll see a cable that leads down to the highway right outside the walls of Happy Dale. Just slide down that puppy end.
Thanks for the plan. Enjoy your stay, idiot.
Kurgan! Stop! Open up, Kurgan! Open it! Now what do I do? That psycho stole our plan.
Basco, the art of running away involves much more than following a plan to the T. Improvise.
But how am I supposed to get into the casino? That psycho locked the door from the inside.
Improvise, I say. And don't be dozing off. You gotta get everything ready to escape right when the clock strikes midnight. Not a minute later or a minute sooner.
Exactly how many times have you escaped?
Figure it out. I usually do it a couple times a year, just to keep up the tradition. And then, there are little perks. My stepfather's wedding. The playoffs against the Celtics. That thing with the cop, Montreal? Just imagine.
We'll talk later, Gabbo.
Okay, but if we don't see each other by March 6th, 2037 at 12:37 p.m., start ironing the money.
See you later, Gabbo.
Okay, and you can tell me about how Bennett sold you up the river, right?
I'll tell you all about it later. Great. What can I do to get into that casino?
Então hoje vamos ficando por aqui. O Exou Biribó, ou o Azar Biribó, agradecendo a presença, o apoio, as dicas, a torcida, as traduções, desejando boa noite, até amanhã. Por enquanto eu fui.